Checkmate. That's the question now confronting Washington. Can the United States strike Iran without using regional allies as a launchpad? According to multiple reports, the answer is increasingly no. Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Kuwait, Iraq, Jordan, and Oman have all formally or privately informed Washington they will not allow their airspace, land, or territorial waters to be used for any attack on Iran. The same message has come from Azerbaijan, Turkey, and Pakistan. Remove Armenia and Turkmenistan, both strategic partners of Tehran, and Afghanistan, where U.S. ties remain deeply strained, and the picture becomes clear. The United States is effectively boxed out of Iran from every geographic direction. That leaves Washington with just two realistic military options. The first, striking Iran from offshore. That would mean using a U.S. Navy armada in the Arabian Sea or long-range bombers flying from Diego Garcia, threading attacks through the narrow strip of the Gulf of Oman that lies just outside Allies' 12 nautical mile territorial limits. But the vulnerabilities are obvious. Iran can concentrate its air defenses along this single approach vector. U.S. carrier-based F-35s armed with JASSM-ER missiles have a standoff range of roughly 925 kilometers, while Iran fields anti-ship cruise missiles with ranges exceeding 1,000 kilometers and drones capable of flying up to 4,000 kilometers. Iranian surveillance drones have already been spotted monitoring the USS Abraham Lincoln Strike Group. Meanwhile, U.S. bombers operating from Diego Garcia would be nearly 4,000 kilometers from Iran's southern coast and more than 5,000 kilometers from Tehran. Even with dozens of precision missiles per aircraft, analysts say the firepower would not be sufficient to cripple a major military power like Iran or prevent retaliation. The second option is far riskier. Ignore allies' objections and attack Iran using their territory anyway. That would signal to partners across the Middle East that U.S. security guarantees cannot be trusted. It would sharply raise the risk of a regional war, including Iranian retaliation and the potential closure of the Strait of Hormuz, a choke point through which roughly 20% of the world's oil supply flows. And it could trigger widespread backlash, protests, demands for U.S. troop withdrawals, and militia attacks on American bases, echoing the chaos seen in Iraq in 2020. What it would not produce, analysts warn, is a Libya-style regime change scenario. Iran has already demonstrated its ability to crush violent unrest at home. Any U.S. strike would guarantee something else instead, a deadly and diplomatically disastrous response. That's the strategic dilemma facing President Donald Trump. Since issuing his initial warnings, Trump has publicly called for new leadership in Iran, while also urging Tehran to negotiate a new nuclear deal. Behind the scenes, he has reportedly asked his generals for decisive military options. The president has previously favored swift, targeted strikes against ISIS, against Iranian nuclear facilities, and against Houthi forces in Yemen. But he has also shown a willingness to pursue prolonged pressure campaigns, as seen in Venezuela. Which brings Washington back to the same conclusion. There is no clean strike, no contained war, and no easy exit. In this geopolitical standoff, the board is set, and every move carries global consequences. A new flashpoint is emerging in West Asia, and Moscow is drawing a hard red line. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov is slamming fresh U.S. threats of military action against Iran, calling them absolutely unacceptable, and warning the consequences could ripple far beyond the region. In prepared remarks released ahead of a press conference, Lavrov accused Washington of pushing the world closer to a dangerous escalation, saying any renewed act of aggression against Iran would have grave consequences for regional stability and global security. Lavrov also warned against what he describes as the exploitation of foreign-inspired unrest as a pretext for military action, pointing directly to the aggression against Iran in June 2025. He said repeating such actions would seriously undermine international stability at a moment when tensions are already running dangerously high. The comments come as U.S. Central Command continues to deploy warships, fighter jets, and troops across the region, moves Washington describes as protecting regional security, but which Tehran views as preparation for confrontation. Iran has already issued a stark warning. Any act of aggression, it says, will be met with a swift and forceful response. The rhetoric intensified further after U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee claimed President Donald Trump doesn't make empty threats, citing Iran's nuclear program and recent unrest as potential grounds for military action. Tehran's response has been equally blunt. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has warned that any U.S. strike would not remain limited, but would spiral into a full-scale regional war. Against that backdrop, the Kremlin says Russia is taking a very different approach. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov emphasized that Moscow is actively working to de-escalate tensions, not inflame them, offering practical diplomatic solutions that have been on the table for years. Those proposals include Russia processing or storing Iran's enriched uranium, a move Moscow says could reduce pressure and remove what it calls irritants for multiple countries. Peskov stressed that Russia remains in contact with all relevant parties and is committed to calming the crisis, not weaponizing it. As Washington leans on threats and coercion, Moscow says it is choosing diplomacy, warning that the alternative could ignite yet another conflict with consequences the world cannot afford. And as the standoff deepens, one message from Russia is unmistakable. Another war with Iran would not be contained, and the fallout would be global.